If you guys are still playing FC24 and you want some cheap coins, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you do use my code Rema, it will give you a lovely 5% discount off your order. So what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day so far. In today's video guys, we're going to be looking at the updated 4-3-2-1 custom tactics and instructions to help you out in FC24 if you're still playing. We have been playing quite a lot of games recently with that XP incentive that EA have added. I know it's the end of the game, but I still really want to get that Garincha and Haaland just to say I've done it. But yeah, we have changed the team up quite a lot since the last video. We had to up the team because I was pretty much getting out teamed, so I just decided to open some packs. We've got this Schumanni who's incredible, Modric who's really good, Kaka's alright, Weghorst is obviously Weghorst. I love this Valverde. Not a big fan of Van Dijk, I'll be honest. It's a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I don't think he's that good at the moment. But yeah, we updated the team, and let's get right into today's video. I hope you enjoy. Okay then guys, so going through the tactics today, defensive style, we pop it on balanced. I always do this because it gives us the best control over our defense. So when we want to press the opponent, we can do so, and when we want to drop off and maybe be more passive, we can also do that. So I've rocked balanced pretty much the whole year. I think it's just the most reliable. But that being said, if you want to use pressure tactics because you feel more comfortable with that, then you can go right ahead. Now moving on to the defensive width, I'm using 37 at the moment. Don't ask how I settled on this number because I have no idea. All I know is it's worked really well for me. The reason it's so good is because it gives you a nice, narrow and compact defense, so you can block out all of those attacks through the middle. Your opponent has a really hard time getting through, especially if you have like these players with intercept plus at like centre back and at DM. It's just crazy. So 37 width has been really nice for me. You still have decent coverage of the wider areas as well. So I've been really enjoying this. You can just use like 35 as well. It doesn't really matter, but I think 35 to 40 is like the way to go at the moment. Now moving on to the depth, I pop this on 65. The reason I pop it on 65 is because I think it gives you a nice high defensive line. You just also have really good control over your defenders. So a lot of people are using like 71 depth and 100 depth because you get that automatic press from the AI. And while it is very overpowered, if you like to have more manual control over your players, this doesn't really allow that. So 65 has been really nice for me. But if you want to use that 71 depth or that 100 depth, to get that automatic press from the AI, you can absolutely do that. That is not a problem. Moving on to the build-up play, I pop this on balanced, as again, I find it to be the most consistent, varied form of build-up. So when you use balance, guys, you can basically pick and choose between all the types of build-up whenever you want. So for example, if you want to start off building up slowly, you can do that. And if you want to speed up and go a bit faster, you can also do that. I also think all of these individual settings are really bad. I don't think they give you good attacking AI. I don't think they help you do the style that you want. So for example, slow build-up doesn't help you build up slowly. Your players just move around really sluggishly and very predictable, and then fast build-up's just utter chaos. So I don't think these are good. I think balanced is the way to go. Now for the chance creation, direct passing, again, absolute must in my opinion. The only way to break through that park the bus defense in FC24, it's a very like push forward, track back kind of movement from your attackers to create space, and it allows for those cutbacks, which is one of the only ways to actually score in FC24 with how overpowered the defensive AI is and how park the bus it is. So this one is an absolute must in my opinion, otherwise you're going to struggle to attack. Now for the attacking width, you can pretty much use what you want. All you need to know about this is the lower the width, the more narrow your attack, and then the higher the width, the wider your attack. So make of that what you will and pick something that you want to play like. So for me, I kind of like to play quite balanced, so 48 was alright, but for example, some of you might want to play wider and want to go up to like 60 or something. So just do whatever you feel comfortable with, just experiment a bit. And yeah, for the players in the box, we have this on 6. This is to get quite a few players into that penalty area, but we don't completely overcommit, which is really nice, so you don't always get counter-attacked. And the corners and the free kicks, this is a complete preference thing. You can do what you want with that. Now, moving on to the player instructions, guys. On this striker, we pop them on stay central and get in behind. Now, we pop them on stay central because we don't want them drifting out into those wider areas. They're our striker. We want them to be in the middle. We want them to be that focal point, especially if you've got somebody like Weghorst, you know, up top. It's very important to keep them in the middle. I just think stay central is important on the striker so that they don't get lost. And then we also pop them on getting behind, as it makes these players force runs. If you have them on mixed attack and your opponent is using like some pressure tactics, a lot of the time your players are just really static. They don't move. So this striker just becomes a bit useless. So I think getting behind is good to force the runs out of the player, and it just makes them a lot more useful overall. For the left forward, we have them on the same instruction as the striker, so stay central and getting behind for similar reasons. Stay central keeps them in those narrow channels in between like the in between the fullback and the centre back, which is really difficult to mark. So this is a really nice position for them, and then getting behind again to force those runs out of the player for the same reason as the striker. So very important to have the left forward and the striker on stay central getting behind, in my opinion. Now for this right forward, we pop them on comeback and defence and get in behind. Now the reason we pop them on comeback and defence is because it makes it defend in that 4-4-2 shape. Why do we do this, you might ask? Well, the 4-4-2 is one of the best defensive shapes in the game. The reason being is it has really good coverage of those central areas with those two centre mids, and also really good coverage of those wider areas with now a right mid and a left mid. So it just makes you really compact in defence just by making this one change. So on comeback and defence, this right forward will come back to defend as a right midfielder in a 4-4-2 shape. So it will leave the striker and this left forward up top, and then this right forward will come back to defend as a right mid, making that 4-4-2 shape. Then we also have them on getting behind again, as the same reason for the striker and the left forward. We want to force those runs. So that's pretty much it for that. Now for this right centre mid, this is more of like a box-to-box, somebody that will attack and defend, you know, basically help transition. We have them on the default settings and then pop them on cover centre, which is very important. Default settings, because like I said, they're more box-to-box. You want them to attack, defend, do a bit of everything, so you kind of just let them do it. The only thing that's really important to change is cover centre, so that they will actually defend as that right centre mid in that new 4-4-2 shape that we've got in the defence. Now for this middle centre mid, we use a more defensive-minded player, somebody that's just going to be an anchor, a rock, and bring that balance to the midfield. So I use Shuameni. He's really good at it, and we pop him on stay back and then cover centre as well, which is really important. Stay back because we don't want him flying forward. Like I said, he's the more defensive minded midfielder, so we just want him to stay there, and then cover centre, so we will defend as the left centre mid in that 4-4-2 shape. Now for this left centre mid, we pop them on cover wing because it will make them defend as a left mid in the 4-4-2 shape, which means because they're not defending as a centre mid, you can get away with pretty much using anyone you want and using like a throwaway attacker. So I use this left centre mid as Valverde, and I basically say get forward, get into the box for cross. So you have like that extra player going forward, which is really useful. And the advantage with somebody like Valverde is they're really good in the attack, but then, you know, when they have to get back, they're also pretty good at it as well. So it's not like a necessity to have somebody that can defend in that attacking centre mid role, but it's a bonus. So that's why I use Valverde there. Just make sure you have them on cover wing at the very least, so that they will defend as that left mid in the 4-4-2 shape. Now for the fullbacks, because it's an arrow formation, on my more attacking one, the right back, I put them on balanced overlap. This is to give us that extra width to stretch out the opponent's defence and give your attackers more space through the middle, just from this simple change. So it's very important to have this width, otherwise you can struggle to attack against somebody that is pressing you. So whichever fullback is your most attacking one, balanced overlap, and then for the more defensive one, stay back and overlap. So you always have at least 3 defenders back at a time, but when you send them on the run forward, they'll make that overlapping run just like the other fullback. For those 2 centre backs, of course we leave them alone, and the keeper we also leave them alone. But yeah guys, they are my tactics and instructions for the 4-3-2-1. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, drop it a like, and yeah, I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Peace out and take care.